Hey guys, welcome to another episode of How To with the Caribbean Gaffer, powered by 13 Degrees North Rentals. Now, in this episode, in our season 3, we are looking at the how to of sound to start the whole season off. This season, we'll be doing sound, we'll be doing camera, we'll be doing lighting, and we're going to many other variant topics on the how to of production. Now, today I'm joined by Travis Springer. I am absolutely delighted to be here with Travis. He's quickly becoming one of Barbie's best location sound recordists, and I am absolutely pleased to have him here with me today. Today we'll be talking about the how-to of site visits and location audio. So yeah, Travis, a lot of people don't understand sound and the importance of sound in production. I know for us is one of our pet peeves when people always think about or say you that look clean boy, but they don't actually think about when they're hearing all the big noises and scratching and popping and
badly recorded sound and people don't take in consideration the smallest things could be detrimental to your project, you know?
Correct. Now it all starts with the beginning. Going on the location and figuring out what you can hear, what challenges you're going to have, if they have dogs barking, if they're going to have crickets, if they're going to have cocks crowing, and always that weed whacker man.
Of course, it's always a lawnmower man.
always
a lawnmower man.
Always a lawnmower man. So for those who don't know or don't understand, what should people be looking for or looking at when they're thinking about the location that they're going to be filming in as it relates to sound?
Right, what they're looking at or listening for?
Or listening for.
Okay, so usually what I would recommend people is check the location, the time you're actually going to shoot. So if you're going to shoot at night, lots of people just like to pull up at your location, take photos, and it looks great, let's move on. But I think if you know you're going to be shooting at 6 o'clock, go to the location at 6 o'clock. See how it sounds. If there is, as you said, crickets, the rack command should not be out at that time. Hopefully. But I always tell people, if they can't have a sound mixer or the sound person there, take notes. Anything you hear, if there's a bar, because people like karaoke, if you're shooting on a Friday night, that's a big possibility that could happen. And karaoke bars and noise and parties.
Correct.
It travels.
Especially if a surf rap playing next door.
So you can have simple things like if there's a bar 2 blocks, 2 avenues down, and you're shooting Friday night, you can safely assume there's going to be some sort of noise, alcohol, dominoes, something in the distance, which you are not going to hear at 3 in the afternoon when you do your site visit. Same thing goes for day. Crickets as well at night. If you're shooting during the day, then if it's a highly populated area, then there's going to be traffic. If you're in town, then we all know what we're going to hear in town.
Right.
So if you do a site visit on Sunday in Broad Street and you're shooting on Monday, it's
going to be totally different.
Correct. So it's just those little points. If you're in an open area, take consideration of the wind. You can look at the trees. You can check the weather forecast as well, because as good as the aesthetic of trees blowing in the background may look good on camera, it may not sound good, especially if you have a scene which is very emotional, people are speaking quiet, or you're hearing the shh in the background from the trees.
Right.
That probably sounds like white noise. but you understand what I'm saying.
Correct.
Yeah. So just stuff like that you should always keep in mind.
Right. Now, what about, let's say that I go and do a site visit and I know for sure it's shooting at 6 o'clock the night time. I go 6 o'clock that night and everything is all quiet and all well and good, and then all of a sudden I have my neighbors start crawling or the dogs start barking. How do you then work with people on set or with the producer or the director around those scenarios that pop up that you don't have a idea may have happened?
Correct. So it all depends on if it's a scenario or situation that can be controlled. So if it can be fixed, or if it's a dog barking, or if it's something happening on set that's suddenly keeping noise, you talk to them and say, hey, there's a sound here. You can tell them it's either going to drastically affect what you want, or it could add ambience or atmosphere. Because if it's a scene where not shooting much dialogue, maybe you can shoot in between the noise if it's not consistent, for example. So if it's a dog barking and he's barking because there's too much activity around, because dogs do that, Probably tell the guys, hey, just let's move from here, let the dog settle down, and then we can run a tape, for example. If it's something that we can't really control, unfortunately, we either have to shoot. If there's certain things that you can't avoid.
Right.
So our job as sound mixers is to record the best possible song on that day and that time. And if that includes some external noise we can't control, then unfortunately we will have to run with it. But at least production would know that, hey, we have an issue here on set.
Right. Now, how about if you have a big area to shoot in? So let's say a big hall that's real reverb, has tons of reverb in it.
Right.
Then how do you advise, or what would your advice be to production to cut down on some of that reverb or echo,
Right.
Depending on the studio that you're in? Because I know for sure there's some studios in Barbados that I absolutely hate to do sounding.
Yeah, it sounds like a DJ on the radio. Hello.
Correct. And there's some places that I have received or have had some challenges, and then I've had to implement some techniques to cut down on the reverb or on the echo. Right. So what would you normally do, or what advice you would give?
In that case, because two things can happen here. They probably picked that location for the openness and the style, and which I don't advise if you're doing lots of dialogue, as you said.
Correct.
But I usually tell producers, if they can, I'm like, okay, well, we need to cut down on this reverb somehow. And you can do that multiple. You can add furniture. That's the easiest thing. Add stuff in the room to stop. Because essentially the reverb is coming from the reflections, parallel walls and that type of thing. So there's techniques you can do. You can drape it, if it doesn't affect lighting or the look. You can add furniture. You can add more bodies. You can add things to the room so that it wouldn't be perfect, but it'll be better.
Correct. Simple carpet on the floor.
Simple carpet, correct.
Right.
Simple things. Add things to the room to absorb the reflections and the sound. A lot of times DPs and directors will pick it because of aesthetic. And I would say, hey, are you sure? Because it looks amazing, but
it doesn't sound
amazing. So there are things you can do. Then sometimes they say, well, we like it, we have to go with it, and we do ADR. Or we would change the dialogue to suit.
All right. For those who don't know, what is ADR?
ADR, my apologies, is automated dialogue replacement. It's when you bring the talent back into the studio after you've shot to redo their lines because it wasn't great on set, or we didn't like the intonation, whatever the reason they decided to bring the actors back.
Right.
Yeah, redo the lines in the studio, essentially.
Right. How do you go about testing for echoes and refraction when you get on set?
Right, so
or when you're doing your location scout, sorry, I should say.
Location scout, correct. So first of all, you can just naturally hear if there's a lot of reverb or delay. When you show, you hear the echo coming back at you. It would sound like you're in a church or in a bathroom singing, right? That's the first thing that you would notice. People can clap to see how long the reverb time lasts in terms of, when you clap, if it dissipates quick, if it's just really dry. Many people have heard this in studios where they walk in and they clap and they hear nothing else, So that's usually the quick test,
Right.
I think, as you know, people would put up a microphone, test the reverb time, which gets more technical.
Correct.
Yeah, on a location scope, people just listen with their ears. They would shout. Especially if you have dialogue that's really loud, if you know your actors are going to be shouting, people would speak loudly to see how the room responds to that. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a really reverberant room, like a cave, sounds like.
The bathroom.
Yes,
the bathroom. Yeah. Most people's bathroom has a fair amount of reverb.
Yeah.
So if you've never tried it, go into your bathroom, close the door, and have a sing, or just have a 1-2.
Really, Houston singing, anything,
I'm not going to push you that far. Then you might be entering the realm of karaoke.
Fair enough.
I don't need to hear a bathroom say, "Oh, Travis, tell me go and sing some Whitney or some Celine," and I sound fantastic.
Dynamic range, But yes, try it. For those of you who don't know what reverb is,
right?
Go in the bathroom and sing.
Go in the bathroom and sing. But then your neighbors gonna know what you really sound like.
Yeah.
So, right, Travis, what about sounds that you won't necessarily notice when you're doing the site visit? So, for example, you might go into a space that is empty, an empty location, abandoned house or whatever. But then, as production comes in, then that creates added noise floor. And just so you all understand what noise floor is the ambient noise that you would generally hear when nothing else is happening. So within any scenario or situation that you're in, any room that you're in, if you close your eyes and just listen, whatever you're hearing generally is always your noise floor. And production creates and increases that noise floor, whether if it's a generator. I will admit, yes,
Yep.
I am a gaffer.
Yep.
I need power.
The bane of our existence. but yeah, so
You need power too.
I need power too.
You gotta charge things.
Thank you. It's true. But no, for example, like lights have hums.
Correct.
Not all lights are created equal, you know. But production might decide to put in a fridge, because they want a fridge in this, and obviously we know fridges hum, fans, that type of thing. I think the best thing to do is not just go and plug up things. But usually,
I would not advise that.
right, usually myself will come or whoever is on the apartment will say, hey Kirk, generator, keep it a little noise, what you can do, you know what I mean?
Right.
And usually you guys are pretty well you. But you know, usually the gaffers are pretty good at moving, helping to say, okay, well let's move it around the corner to negate the sound. Then we can talk to our department about, hey, the fans and the fridges, what can we do? Is the fridge going to be open? Because you know you need the light when the fridge opens. Like, what can we do? So usually they will say, okay, let's unplug it for this scene, just to make sure to plug it back in. To got some meat in there. You know?
It's true.
Fans, if it's aesthetic for the shot, if it's a wide shot and the DP needs to see the fan oscillating, you keep it for the wide shot. But if it's a close up where it's not in frame, you make sure to take it out together. You know,
The best audio.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Correct.
And that is, I can be very honest, and this is where I love the cohesion in production, because everybody's always working to get the best possible picture and sound. Because it is a case where it doesn't make sense you having a fantastic wide shot and the sound is crappy. I'm gonna put on my sound hat now. For us, we love close-up shots, because then you can really get in and get very close, and with a boom mic, which we will get into in another episode, types of microphones, apart from labs, is then that you really could get real close to the talent's mouth and get really clean dialogue. And that's why we love the close-up shots. That's why we just don't love a wide, and then you are booming from miles away and you're hearing all the crickets or the fans or the generator, as Travis would have mentioned in the shot.
Practicals in the shot too, you know,
Yeah.
to create lights come in. And
Correct,
stuff like that, so.
exactly. And then for me as a gaffer, taking off that sound hat now, and working with the grip department, it's always good to have sound blankets on set in case we need to kill sound for the sound department, or in case we need to close off or diffuse a generator noise. Sound blankets are wonderful tools to do that with.
Correct.
And I think a lot of people don't understand how the audio-visual component really works. For me, it is definitely, I might get licks for this, but I believe it's a 60-40 thing. 40 being picture, 60 being sound. You could watch a badly shot movie with good audio, but it is very hard to watch a bad sounding film, although it is shot really nicely. So for me, I tend to lean more towards having great audio and potentially an okay image than bad audio and an amazing image.
With the image, it could be passed off as a director's choice, style-wise, shaky camera, bad framing.
Bad
That's
framing,
the director's vision.
Correct.
You know,
Like I was watching something the other day, and every cut was they were crossing the line, right? And it was like, yo, this is definitely a director's style.
Exactly.
And I mean, after a while, you get so accustomed to it, it's just like, all right, this works.
But,
Okay,
you know,
this
technically not good in a lot of people's eyes in terms of technicality, but if the sound was bad, then
everybody jumps at that bad sound.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Especially that bad ADR. The only movies that I know for sure that people accept bad audio is Kung Fu.
The old
the old Kung Fu movies
where the lips stop moving in the ear, the dialogue.
Generally, people accept that, and westerns as well. You know what I mean? Where you had a gun and it going ping ping Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
what
was
is that?
What was that? And the thing is, they know they could have done better, but it's what the people want.
It's what the people want.
It's what the people want.
Is the back in the day.
Exactly. That's what sells the tickets. Like.
Correct.
Yeah.
For us as sound engineers, we are not going to do a pichong pang sounding good in this in 2023.
No. Unless you're purposely going for that effect.
Unless you're purposely going for it, right? Or unless you're creating the new track.
Yeah, but we try a little harder these days.
Correct. To make sure and get the audio correct. As it relates to production here in Barbados, especially, it has taken a while to see sound evolve, and if you go through a lot of I'm going to say the local films, you've seen the evolution of people focusing on sound and moving away from just focusing on picture. And it is heartwarming or heartfelt for me when now I can watch films and honestly see that people have paid attention and are paying attention to the various elements of sound needed to go along with the visuals. And I think step by step, bit by bit, we as a country will create the industry, and we will get to that point where we have both perfect picture and perfect sound. But with that, Travis, where can people find you to help them get their perfect sound?
You can find me on all socials, most socials I would say. Instagram, TJ_Springer, that's my Instagram. You can just Google Travis Springer, there's my website as well. You can ask a question. I think most people in Barbados involved, if you know someone involved in picture, there's only a few Sound Recordists here, so I think my name will pop up and someone will have my number. I think you will have titles. How do they do it in the YouTube?
Yeah, you can come across here, so
check the top right corner for the but yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, so, and then once again, we are 13 Degrees North on all socials. So 13 Degrees North Productions, 13 Degrees North Rentals. I am still the Caribbean Gaffer on Instagram, so you can follow, like the page, and we'll be here to show you more of how to do what you need to do to get the perfect picture and the perfect sound. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
See you next episode.